See, the venom of snakes is under their lips, and their mouths are full of bitterness and curses, and in their paths, nothing but ruin and misery, and the fear of God is not before their eyes. They have taken the hearts and minds of our leaders. They have recruited the rich and the powerful, and they have blinded us to the truth. And our human spirit is corrupted. Why do we worship greed? Because outside the limit of our sight, feeding off us, perched on top of us from birth to death, are our owners. Our owners. They have us. They control us. They are our masters. Wake up. They're all about you, all around you.
What more do you need to see? We've made vaccinations free, safe, and convenient. The vaccine has FDA approval. Over 200 million Americans have gotten at least one shot. We've been patient, but our patience is wearing thin, and your refusal has cost all of us. So please do the right thing. But just don't take it from me. Listen to the voice.
If certain people on this planet are aligned with that higher frequency thinking, they're going to, their higher self or their oversoul is going to make sure that they're in the right place at the right time so they don't get wiped out. Because there are plans to do big wipeouts. I mean, the Georgia Guidestones,
exactly.
Unfortunately is going to happen.
All right, guys, we finally made it. Danny, come here.
Here's the hole right here.
Yeah, I know, but come here. Finally, how many years have we been waiting to get to this place? Here it is, the famous Georgia Guidestones. I mean, this is fucking really spooky, really, tell you the truth. I mean, it's pretty weird. Here it is. As you can see, these are all solid granite slabs, which I was in the granite industry, and this is a bitch to set these things, I'm going to tell you right now. This cost a lot of money to cut these things and to do this. All right, guys, check this out. There's a time capsule that's built 6 feet below this spot right here. And it doesn't tell you when it's supposed to be opened or anything right here. And, wow. So this is due north this way, due east, due west, and south. They got the Babylonian cuneiform, the Egyptian hieroglyphics.
The writing on the weird Egyptian hieroglyphics stands for "Let these Guidestones be an age of reason."
Yeah.
The holes do this. They do.
Channel through stone indicates celestial pole. The horizontal slot indicates annual travel of the sun, and the sunbeam through the capstone marks noontime throughout the year.
They misspelled pseudonym.
Yeah. Oh, they did.
It's like a typo. Physical data right here.
Well, as much money as they paid the granite company, Georgia Granite Company did this, right? I remember some guys that worked for there. They worked on this deal. They told me it was fucked up.
Alberton Granite Museum and Exhibit, Alberton, Georgia.
Yeah.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Wonder what's in the time capsule.
Yeah, I'd like to know. Why don't they have a date when it's supposed to be opened? You know?
Yeah. It's stupid.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Maintain humanity under 500 million. So, how many people we got to kill?
We gotta kill a lot of people.
Well, Monsanto's doing a good job. Maybe Monsanto, maybe they did this. Yeah, it's a good possibility. Who knows? But they want to kill plenty of people. Here we go.
We just know that they're killing a lot of people.
Here we go. Guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. Okay, well, that's eugenics. So who's the head of eugenics right now, Scotty? Bill Gates? Seriously. Pretty much.
There's no eugenics anymore.
Well, I mean, okay, here we go. What else we got here? Unite humanity with a living new language.
It's like Bible stuff.
There we go. The Babylon, right?
Higher Babylon.
There we go. Okay, there we go. All right. Rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason.
Get rid of all your passion, get rid of all your faith, get rid of all your old traditions with reason.
Well, that might be good. What do you think?
Sounds like you're a robot.
Well, I mean, but some of the old-fashioned stuff and some of
Passion's important.
well, passion we gotta have, you know. So I mean, we, you know.
It says to become a robot and get rid of everything that we ever were.
But I mean, some of the old traditions are pretty
Some of them
fucking
are
lame. Okay, but I mean, let's, you know, some are okay with tempered reason. Okay, protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. Oh,
Yeah,
isn't that what America was all about? Weren't we supposed to be free?
It's just telling you.
Oh, okay. Okay, let's see. Let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. Isn't that kind of like New World Order kind of thing? Huh? Isn't that like the United Nations?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's the UN right
There we go, the United Nations. There we go. Maybe they built it. Okay, let's see. Avoid petty laws and useless officials. Now that I agree with. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Avoid petty laws. Fuck yeah. And the useless officials. I mean, do you know any officials that aren't useless? Let's get rid of them. There we go. All right. Balance personal rights with social duties. Okay, come on now.
Sounds like Russia communist mode. You know,
I mean,
Soviet Russia happening. Social duties.
Yes, let's get our social duties, huh? Okay.
Nazi Germany.
Prize truth, beauty, love, seeking harmony with the infinite. That sounds pretty fucking.
That just sounds like it's thrown in there to sound like you're romance or something.
Yeah.
Sounds
Okay.
so stupid.
All right. Well, I mean, we can believe in that.
They
though,
could
you
just-
know, we can prize truth. Yes, we prize truth,
They could
beauty,
just say-
love. Yes.
Prize good things. You know,
Okay. All right.
generic stuff.
Well, I like I like the next. I like the next one here. Be not a cancer on the earth. Okay, I can agree with that. Let's try not to be cancer on the earth. Leave room for nature. Leave room for nature. Well, I don't know. How many times have we traveled across the country? I think there's plenty of nature still left, isn't there?
There's lots of it, but
I mean, I think there's a lot of nature still left. So I don't know.
nature.
What do you think? Well, there it is. Pretty bizarre. Guys, I just want to let you know one thing. Each one of these blocks right here weigh 25,000 pounds. Okay, so 25,000 pounds each, and it cost a lot of money.
Just
To
to get an
build this
idea of how
Yeah.
big they are.
It's a lot of money to build these things, man. So who the hell did this, and why?
A monument considered by some conservative Christians to be satanic was badly damaged by an explosive device. One of the 4 granite panels on the Georgia Guidestones monument was reduced to rubble. The attraction was built in 1980 from local granite and commissioned under the name R.C. Christian. The 19-foot-high panels bear a 10-part message in 8 languages with guidance for living an age of reason. The so-called American Stonehenge also serves as a sundial and astronomical calendar. The bombing is under investigation.
Hey, what's up, guys? So, this video ain't gonna be long, man. Just kind of like a little interlude between videos, I guess, and just giving y'all a heads up. Because I did drop the video last night, and I'm sure YouTube did their thing with the algorithms and censorship or whatever, which I had to fight to even get that video uploaded. You know, I had to edit it several times just to get it up, man. The original video is on Rumble, but I just wanted to kind of touch base on like the whole, you know, gist of the video, which is basically just talking about, man, like I said, man, some people may have been offended by it. I think I did offend some people, calling people stupid. But I mean, at the end of the day, man, if you took offense, then maybe you are. I'm just saying, you know, you've been dumbed down. It's not necessarily your fault that you're stupid. It's not your fault, but yeah, it's some stupid people out here, man. There's some stupid people out here, and this is by design. Like I was telling y'all, people that are stupid or dumbed down, these are people that are pretty much casualties of war. You casualties of war, man. You've been under a biochemical attack your whole life by those that are supposed to protect you, right? So how are you not a casualty of war if we at war? We've been at war. Anytime you got toxins and poisons being put in anything that you consuming or breathing in by whoever the culprit is, They are your enemy. Make no mistake about it, because they're trying to harm you. That would make them your enemy. Legitimately, the legitimate enemy. Okay? So let's be clear there. Okay? So what have they done? They've launched a biochemical attack on your ass, on your brain, on your neurological system, on your bodily functions, on your health, on your life, on your longevity. Not only on you, but on your children, and whoever else. They pretty much launched a biochemical attack. Okay, so understand that, man. Understand that first and foremost. But with that, man, with that being said, it's not just the fact that they've launched an attack. It's not just the fact that they've launched an attack on you, but you also have to consider what they've done. Let's take a look. Like I told y'all before, man, and you have to look further than what you would normally think or believe that you need to. So what I mean, guys, why you gotta look further is just look at the things that's been implemented. Okay, if you were trying to give somebody some medicine, when would you do it? When are you supposed to take your medicine that's supposed to affect your body? Right? A lot of times it's first thing in the morning. What do they make sure that people do first thing in the morning? You do what? You eat cereal, right? You eat cereal. What do they want you to eat with your cereal? Milk. What does milk do? I've been telling y'all, milk calcifies the bones. That's what they say, calcifies the bones, but it also calcifies your pineal gland. They've been calcifying your pineal gland your whole life. What else they want to do to you? Fresh at birth. If they not doing stuff to help you at birth, which we understand that. They're not doing stuff to help you at birth, so the stuff that they're doing at birth is doing something to harm you at birth. Okay? What else do they want to do? First thing in the morning. Make sure you get your good dose of what? Fluoride. So what do? They put the fluoride in the water. Which is, and also, what do they also make you take in the morning? Toothpaste, which is toxic. Do you understand what I mean? Like, I just put that in the video. Why are they making you ingest all these toxins in the morning? All these things that affect you, your neurological function. You see what I'm saying? This is the stuff they've implemented. This is why people are stupid. People wake up and they get a heavy dose of stupidity. They consume things that are toxins that are going to affect you. That's why they put certain stuff in the cereal. Like, people are finding out it's certain toxins in the cereals. Certain cereals have certain toxins, right? But that's not stuff that you're going to be advised about. This is why we have to look at things, man, in perspective. We have to look at things in a different perspective. Okay, the stuff that they've been telling you to do, man, this is why people are stupid. This is why people are dumb. This is why, because we have been under attack. Okay, and the attack has led up to this point. Remember with the Jews, man, they poisoned them with fluoride, right? They poisoned them with fluoride, and yet we decide to put it in our drinking water, and they tell you it's good for your teeth. And then you got people, oh, it's safe and effective. It's safe and effective. Safe and when have we heard that before?
Blaylock. I'm a board-certified neurosurgeon. I've retired from active practice. Now I do primarily theoretical research in neurosciences. There's no modern evidence whatsoever that fluoridating water reduces cavities at all. So you have to ask the question, why are you still fluoridating water? Now, not only does that produce lethargy, apathy, weakness, tiredness in adults, but if you do it in pregnant women, the babies are born with low IQs and they never recover.
We're developing a society because of all of these different toxins known to affect brain function. We're seeing a society that not only has a lot more people of lower IQ, but a lot fewer people of higher IQ. In other words, a dumbing down, a chemical dumbing down of society. So everyone's sort of mediocre. That leaves them dependent on government. because they can't excel.
A farmer has 15 sheep and all but 8 died. How many are left?
A farmer has 15 sheep and all but 8
Died. Yeah. How many are left?
Oh. They all died, that's what you mean.
Name the month that we get the least sleep.
I want to say December. July.
July?
January.
February.
She got it right.
Wow.
So tall.
Okay.
All but 8 died.
Okay, all but 8 died.
Yeah.
Oh, but 8 died.
We've got some rather profound problems with fluoridation that are now well documented from laboratories all over the world without any question. For instance, one of them Dr. Varner did out of Europe, in which he looked at 0.5 parts per million, which is half of what's put in water, and found significant death of neurons in the brain and damage to the blood vessels that supply blood to the brain.
Spell psychiatrist. You trying to find Google?
TV. No. PSCHYCIAST.
Oh.
PSYCHIATRIST.
And hey now, somebody know how to spell.
PSYCHOLOGIST.
PHYSCHIARTIST.
Psychiatrist?
If 8 died, it would have 7 left. But all but 8 died.
Right.
That means they all died, man.
Yet we have a government that is still pushing as hard as they can, using taxpayer money, to get all the water supply in the United States fluoridated. Fluoride reduces reproduction. It influences sperm mobility. When all these things are known and in the scientific literature and peer-reviewed journals, why is the public being kept in the dark? There's only 2 choices you have in this debate. Either they're incredibly stupid and incompetent or criminal, or they're doing it on purpose for a reason, which goes back to the Rockefeller design of human engineering. Oh yes, we may harm a lot of people. We may kill some babies. We may create some new diseases. We may wipe out whole populations at a time. But that's the price we have to pay to create the new vision, the new society.
A truck driver is going down a one-way street the wrong way and passes at least 10 cops. Why is he not caught?
He a construction worker.
These are one of these questions that make me look dumb. Because he's going the other way. He's walking.
Because he's a cop?
Because all the cops are facing that way.
He's walking.
The 8 sheep were left.
8 sheep was
8 were
left.
left. All but 8 died.
Oh, all but 8 died. That's true. Wow. Okay, that's true.
All right,
We have these people with lower IQ who are totally dependent. Then we have this mass of people who are going to believe anything they're told because they can't really think clearly. And very few people of very high IQ who have good cognitive function who can figure this all out. And that's what they want. So, you can kind of piece it together as to why they are so insistent in spending so many hundreds of millions of dollars of propaganda money to dumb down society.
Fluoride is safe and effective, and it's one of the most inexpensive ways to really cut down on dental decay.
Anything we can do to help prevent cavities on children, I think, is very important.
Absolutely, fluoride is safe. It's effective.
Fluoridation of community water is extremely safe and extremely effective in preventing tooth decay. Science is on the side of fluoride being safe and effective. There is no controversy about this in the scientific community.
If it's such a simple issue, how is it that it's still going on after half a century. I remember it being debated
Yeah,
when
well,
I was
30
young.
years ago.
And it's continuously debated.
But just because we've been doing something 50 years doesn't necessarily mean that it's right.
Public health officials knew then what they know now. Would we have fluoride? Would it be added to our drinking water? Well, today a coalition of scientists, dentists, and doctors are taking action to stop fluoridation until it is proven safe.
As I began my quest looking into the history of fluoride, I found what seemed to be a tangled web of information. While we agree that there are a number of different players in this game and paths to explore regarding the history on fluoride, for the sake of time, we will attempt to be as concise as possible. In the last part of the 18th century, a new kind of revolution was taking hold of the modern world. This was not a political, social, or cultural revolution. This was an economic revolution, and unfortunately for us, the byproducts were some of the most toxic pollutants humanity had ever seen. And one of the most venomous pollutants of them all was fluoride. By 1930, the aluminum industry was the biggest polluter of fluoride. In America, only one company was in the aluminum business: the Aluminum Company of America, otherwise known as Alcoa. Ironically enough, during that time, the U.S. Public Health Services was under the direct jurisdiction of the U.S. Treasury Secretary Andrew W. Mellon. It just so happened that Mellon was the founder and major stockholder of Alcoa. He was also the founder of the Mellon Institution, an industry-funded research institute that was notorious for giving industry the scientific data it needed to defend itself. The Mellon Institute published some of the key evidence that supported the effectiveness of fluoride in fighting tooth decay. It was Dr. Gerald Cox, who also worked at the Mellon Institute, that made the first proposal to artificially fluoridate our public water supplies. Although widely debated, the official human experiments began in Grand Rapids, Michigan on January 25, 1945, as they were the first to publicly fluoridate their water supply.
Most people in America are persuaded that everybody fluoridates their water, and if you're living in a town like Albany or Long Island or Ithaca or somewhere. But the vast majority of the population of the world does not drink fluoridated water. Most of the countries do not fluoridate their water, only about 30.
The countries now that have banned the use of fluoride, China, Austria, Belgium, Finland, Germany, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, the Netherlands, Hungary, and Japan. All these countries have said that fluoride, number one, is ineffective and toxic and should not be used. We are still using it. There's something wrong here. I think it's time that we become aware and do something about it.
There is a recent lawsuit in Maryland. It's a federal lawsuit. A woman who believed the medical establishment at the time when her daughter was an infant. She gave her daughter 90% of her diet, intake of water, was this fluoridated baby water. And so the daughter grew up with severe fluorosis, and to get that corrected, dental restoration is about $100,000, and they can't bear that burden. So they are suing Nestle and Gerber.
So putting it in a baby bottle when the child doesn't have any visible teeth, there's no way on God's green earth that can have anything except a negative impact on that child.
But they sell it in the grocery store as baby's first water. I've seen that for years. How do we educate women to not buy this for their babies?
And this is why we wanted the warning for infants, because they're the most at risk. They drink their weight in water within 2 or 3 days. If you and I did that, we'd be drinking 22 liters a day.
I mean, it just goes back to the whole, these regulatory agencies that are supposed to, be kind of looking out for our best interests, and as you know, they're not.
I say they have a duty to warn. They have a duty to warn you. Not one manufacturer of formula says, by the way, don't use the tap water. Women, infant, and children, WIC program. We contacted them. They refused to tell mothers not to use the tap water. And you know what she said? It would damage the fluoridation program.
Fluoride is safe and effective, and it's one of the most inexpensive ways to really cut down on dental decay. Fluoride is safe and effective. Fluoride is safe and effective.
Well, there's a study from 20 years ago showing infant mortality was higher in fluoridated communities. Is that why? I don't know. Why didn't they do a follow-up study? I think that would be interesting to know.
Children have died, you know. There's been a case of a child who swallowed this. The dentist left the room. The parents didn't know. The kid swallowed it. Had to be rushed to hospital. They couldn't save him. He died. So, yeah, it's very toxic substance. There's no question about that.
Is that the kind of stuff that a responsible parent would be putting in their child's hand? FDA in 1997 required manufacturers of toothpaste to put this warning label on it. It's the same as you'd have on a loaded .38 caliber pistol. Keep out of reach of children. And only use a little pea-sized amount, which is about the same amount that would be in a bottle of water. And if that amount is swallowed, call the Poison Control Center or seek professional help immediately. So if I drank a bottle of water, should I call the Poison Control Center too? This is just insane. So this is what two different organizations say. One says, don't swallow it. Why did they put that on there? They put that on there because there were 10,000 calls a year to the Poison Control Centers from children made ill by swallowed toothpaste. 10,000 calls, and you know for every call there's 5 that didn't call. And there are only Poison Control Centers in half the states. So that means 100,000 children are made ill by swallowed toothpaste. It's insane to put a deadly poison in a child's hand and say, go brush and be sure and spit out, Johnny.
Fluoride has been a slow process of introduction into the dental profession where it's commonplace for us to consider fluoride as the thing to do to help decay. But we now know, statistics have shown us, that fluoride is not working. It's very toxic to you and can cause everything from cancer to depression. So, yeah, it's a serious issue.
You see what I'm saying? So, all the time when they do this stuff, you have to look at it and reverse it. They talking about, oh, it helps to prevent tooth decay. But the study, like the dude was saying, it's proven that it doesn't. So why are we still taking it? Just like the whatchamacallit's proven, the walk was proven not to have the effect that it's supposed to have, but we still taking it. So that makes you understand that there's other ulterior motives behind it. There's other ulterior motives that we may not be looking at. Okay? And like I said, we got a bunch of stupid people that just openly, willy-nilly walked on down and, you know, they took the walk and everything. But why did they do that? Why did they do that? You see what I'm saying? This is the stuff we have to look at. Why they did it? I'm going to tell you why they did it. Because they've been under attack all of these years. Some of them 30, 40 years of fluoride, of toxins in the metals, the toxins in the air, the pollution and things that they create. They drop from the skies to have an effect on people's brains. And what you end up with? You end up with a dumbed down population that needs to be spoon-fed information, and they don't look to the left or the right. They just say, okay, that's what they said, that's what it is. That's what they said, that's what it is. Walk straight. Just walk. You see what I'm saying? So you start looking at it, man, from that perspective, and it all makes sense. Like, it makes a whole lot of sense, right? And this is some of the reasons why we can't talk to people, man. And I believe what has occurred, they have gotten a little more advanced with the technological approach. Okay, the more technological approach now is, yes, implement nanos and these antennas and things to hit them suckers, right? And the problem is, guys, and this is why, like, they put, like, if you notice, like with TikToks and stuff like that, the dumbest videos get the most attention. The dumbest videos get the most attention. Like, I had somebody, man, like one of the women that was on one of my videos, and this happened several times, man. Guys, when I put information on the videos, it's important information. Whether you like the person's voice, whether you like the setting they in, whether you like what they're talking about, should not be the end all do all. That should not be what determines whether you listen to what they got to say. Okay? The message may not come from the pretty book that you expect with a pretty cover. Okay, just like I told you in the video, like the car might have a pretty body, but the engine might be jacked up. See what I mean? Perception. So people move off perception. So people don't like the way a message is presented. They may not like the message coming from me because I'm a black man. That's just reality. Some people have walked away from listening to my messages, from my videos, because I'm a black man. Believe it or not, it's happened. I've had racial stuff said and everything else. Why? Because I'm a black man, but I'm an educated black man. Okay? I'm not stupid. But some people are caught up on perception. Okay? They want to sleep a message. I know people that don't listen to nothing nobody got to say unless they got a white coat on. Okay? And I know people that only listen to people if they're white. Okay? And vice versa. There's people that only listen to people if they're black. I know people that only vouch for the black race. I know people that move like that. So it's people that have died because they did not listen to my message because it was coming from a black mouth. Quiet as kept. That's how we move as a society. That's how we function, based off of perception, what we want to receive. So people don't want to receive information if it's not coming from the type of source that you're accustomed to it coming from. That's why they are able to easily inject what they call experts into society and say, oh, that's the person you're supposed to listen to. And the person, what did they say? Oh, it's safe and effective. Do this and that. Right? But somebody like me that has no medical background, actually I do have a little medical background. Crazy, I took some medical stuff, administration courses in grad school. So I've been a little bit of doctor, but I know better because I saw the BS, right? But the point of the matter is that people don't want a certain message unless it's coming from a certain messenger. Okay, they don't want to read a certain book if it doesn't have a certain cover. People have it's been proven that people prefer to read books more times than none when they have more illustrations. You know, even as a child, you look through the books, you pick up a book, you look through it, first thing you do, oh, it got a lot of pictures, I want to look at the pictures. You don't want to read the information, you just want to see the pictures, right? And that's why you got so many people, and it's like so many of these entertainers that are able to put out the message, the evil messages and stuff in their music and stuff like that, because people are so caught up in looking at the artist. They're looking at the visual and stuff. They're not listening to what's being said. Okay, they're not listening to what's being said. They too caught up on the visual aspect of things. They're not looking deeper into what's really going on. Okay, and that's why you got like TikTok and stuff like I was explaining a second ago. TikTok, where you got the dumbest videos and people doing stupid stuff where they get millions of views and things, right? Because they want you to focus on those things. Those are the distractions. Those are the distractions. People want to be entertained, not educated. You understand what I mean? People want to be entertained, not educated. That's why people like me and some of you are a threat to the whole system, because we educate, okay? And we're not educating based off of the system. We're educating you about stuff that you should know that's been floating under the radar, that they swept under the rug. Pulling stuff out, opening books, reading this information to you, okay? Like, you need to see the real stats, not what they just said. They said this, but what did they leave out? What kind of deceptive tactic did they implement to throw you off course? And once you understand that that's how they move, then you always think like that. You're like, well, let me go dig into it myself. I'm not going to take y'all's word for it, because I know y'all be full of it. Everything they say, and we find out everything they say, everything they do, guys, is meant to distract and to harm, to destroy, depop. You see what I mean? So that's the whole focus, man. Is moving people like me out the way. That's why they make sure my stuff gets censored and stuff. Nobody wants to hear and be educated about this stuff. You know, make sure as long as they deplatform people like me, they hide the information, so that nobody gets it, so that nobody knows what's happening, then they can continue on with their charade. They can continue on knocking off billions, and nobody bats an eye. And think about this too, though. The censorship that's been coming down and it's continuing to happen. What happens when there is no voice? What happens when there is no voice? When nobody's talking or nobody's able to be heard? What happens to those people, the sheeple? And it's really, I mean, it's a real thing. Sheeple is a real thing. You gotta think about it. Like, all these people that have these toxins that's been in their system, that's been proven to dumb them down and lower their IQ, even at birth. Y'all saw the video, dude was telling you. What happens to them? This is why you see people riding around with masks on in their car. This is why you see this stuff. These people are dumbed down, guys. I'm trying to tell you, they are completely oblivious. And they all get in line and they just follow suit. Didn't dude say on the video too? Now, I might put it back in this video just so y'all can see and understand what he was saying. But he was talking about how the people would need like pretty much supervisors or adult supervision or some level of government to help them think. But that's what they intended to do. Make it a situation where you're not thinking for yourself. You don't think. No thought. That's why They Live. The movie They Live, perfect example. Dude put on the glasses. Well, he basically put on the sunglasses, which is basically signifying or symbolizing him opening up his pineal gland and seeing what the hell they doing. What do we know now? We see what they're doing. We understand what they're doing. We have our shades on, right? So we see, oh, this is what they want us to do. Buy, consume, don't think, reproduce. This is what those signs meant, guys. This is exactly what it meant. The movie is a real thing. And once you put them glasses on now, you're like, what else did we see? We saw that it's certain people in political positions that are not exactly human. So we see everything. Why? Because we got our shades on. We got our shades on. We see everything that's going on. Like some people, they sit here, dang, I wonder why all these homeless people, why they know the economy is so jacked up and employment and everything is on, the unemployment is on the rise and everything. They just thinking, oh, it's just some, just fluke accident. No, this is all by design, by those that run this world. You see what I mean? So once you got your shades on, guys, once you got your pineal gland open, you move different, you think different, you act different. You can't mingle with the same type of folks. You understand me? Like, you can't be hanging. Like, have you tried to think about it? And I know a lot of y'all do this, and I've talked to y'all. Y'all try to talk to your friends, family members, loved ones, and they don't hear you, right? They consider you something wrong with you. You dumb. Like, that stuff they be saying be so outlandish. You're like, what? But they calling you dumb and stupid, right? Because you wide awake. You think on a different wavelength. Your IQ level is on another level because you still have access to your pineal gland where they do not. Theirs has been, guys, it ain't just the fact that it's been calcified, but also the other things that they've been implementing have been dumbing them down on top of it. So you're dealing with several different levels. You understand what I mean? You're dealing with several different levels. You're dealing with several different levels of dumbness. You're dealing with several different levels of stupidity. And like I'm telling you guys, it's because of the different methods that have been implemented. Like, think about this. Some people have got a heavier dosage of fluoride. Some people have got a lot more of those particular antidotes as a child. Some people have taken lots more of the toxins in the medicines. Some people have eaten a lot more of GMO foods. Some people have gotten more of the milk. You see what I mean? Some people have gotten dumber every year of their life. And as they get older, they continue to get dumber and dumber. And like I tell you guys, Alzheimer's and things like that, those things are products. Those things are products of the dumbing down. And it's casualties of that. Why do you think that stuff only happens in old people? You see what I mean? Why do you think it only happens in old people? Well, they tell you, oh, their brain just deteriorated. The brain deteriorated from decades and decades of toxins and fluoride consumption. And at a certain point, yes, if you've been doing that all your life, or you didn't got too many of the antidotes, you took too many walks, then at some point, yes, it's gonna have a devastating impact on your brain. Some folks have it earlier. That's why you end up with kids with autism, and these kids end up with all kind of other things that are directly related to those different things that they implemented. And we just write it off. Oh, it's just some freak accident. My kid got this, my kid got that. Guys, I hate to tell you, man, and I've seen this, man, personally. Certain things that we take, man, have a direct neurological reaction in the body. It does. I've seen this. I've seen this happen to one of my own. And you know that because of the reactions that the body has. When you have seizures and things like that, neurological responses from the body, rejecting things, fighting things. This is what happens, man. And there's links and stuff that we can correlate to who had this and why and what different things happen or patterns in their life. If we really wanted to do the research, that's the type of real research to be done. But those are the things that we could look at and say, okay, this person took this and this, and then at 6 years old, they started having reoccurring seizures. Okay, epileptic seizures. Okay, this person took this, this, and this, and then at this point in their life, they started having respiratory issues. They started needing asthma inhaler. You see what I mean? That's not the research we're doing because we've been infiltrated. So they do this stuff to you, and then they say, oh, eating oranges has shown that it causes asthma or inflamed lungs or inflamed heart. Oh, being in the sun at 3 in the afternoon causes you to have hair loss. I mean, this is this type of stuff, because what I'll be trying to point out to y'all, man, a lot of times is that the stuff we see that's happening today has always been happening. You just woke up today. Let me repeat that. The stuff you see today that is happening has always been happening. You just woke up today. What I mean by that is that they're telling you, oh, you can get cancer from this, or you can get HIV from that. But you always got it from something else. It was other things that caused it. They just were telling you how to think, or telling you what to think, not how to think. Let me correct myself. They tell you what to think, not how to think. What I'm doing is showing you how to think. Okay? Look at things from the past the negative things that happen. And the only reason we able to really digest this stuff now is because now we got internet. You got folks like me, you got other truthers and stuff that dig into it and put information out. They say, okay, look at this article, find this, boom, 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 boom. But the stuff been happening, but there was no surplus of people that were analyzing the information, looking at the data, and throwing it back to the public. Why? Because the Centers for Disease Control, the FDA, the FDAC, the Centers for Disease Control, the NIH. That's your experts. And what are the experts there to do? They up there to control the population growth.
An illusion will be created so vast, so large that it escapes their perception. Those who see it will be thought of as insane. We will always stand above the relative field of their experience, for we know the secrets of the absolute. We will work together always, and we will remain bound by blood and secrecy. Death will come to he who speaks. We will keep their lifespans short and their minds weak while pretending to do the opposite. We will use our knowledge of science and technology in subtle ways so they will never see what is happening. We will use soft metals, aging accelerators and sedatives in food and water, also in the air. They will be blanketed by poisons everywhere they turn. The soft metals will cause them to lose their minds. We will promise to find a cure from our many fronts, yet we will feed them more poison. The poisons will be absorbed through their skin and mouths. They will destroy their minds and reproductive systems. For all this, their children will be born dead, and we will conceal this information. They will see our products being used in films, and will grow accustomed to them, and will never know their true effect. When they give birth, we will inject poisons into the blood of their children and convince them that it's for their health. We will start early on, when their minds are young. We will target their children with what children love most, sweet things. When their teeth decay, we will fill them with metals that will kill their minds and steal their future. When their ability to learn has been affected, we will create medicines that will make them sicker and cause other diseases for which we will create yet more medicine. We will render them docile and weak, so they succumb to us and our power. They will grow depressed, slow and obese. When they come to us for help, we will give them more poison. We will focus their attention towards money and material goods, so that they may never connect with their inner self. We will distract them with fornication, external pleasures, and games, so that they may never be one with the oneness of all. Their minds will belong to us, and they will do as we say. If they refuse, we shall find ways to implement mind-altering technology into their lives. We will use fear as our weapon. We will establish their governments and establish opposites within. We will own both sides. We will always hide our objective, but carry out our plan. They will perform the labor for us, and we shall prosper from their toil. Our families will never mix with theirs. Our blood must be pure, always, for it is the way. We will keep them separated from the oneness by dogma and religion. We will control all aspects of their lives. We will make them kill each other when it suits us, and tell them what to think and how. We will guide them kindly and gently, letting them think they are guiding themselves. We will incite animosity between them through our factions. When a light shall shine among them, we shall extinguish it by ridicule or death, whichever suits us best. We will make them rip each other's hearts out and kill their own children. We will accomplish this by using hate as our ally, anger as our friend.
See what I'm saying? They're there to tell you how, or tell you what to think. We'll do all this damage to them, and then we'll give them this excuse. They'll buy it. Why? Because we've been dumbing them down. They don't think. We do the thinking. Independent thought, we don't need anybody thinking. People, we don't need you to have a brain. How is it that we born with a brain that you only get to use 10% of? Does that make sense? What other body part were you born with that you only use 10% of it? What body part were you born with that you don't use at all? Makes you think, right? So why do we have, and I don't think it applies to everybody. I think some people do have access to 30, 40, 50, 60, 70% of their brain. Some people have access to 100%. They probably levitating and shit and astral projecting. They probably swimming in the spiritual realm on a regular basis. They ain't talking to us. they on some other, like I heard stories, guys, crazy, man, from some of the teachers that I've learned from, some of the teachers that I've been growing watching, man, about some of the things that they were capable of doing based off of their level of spiritual evolution. Now, or spiritual ascension. Now, I don't know, because I can't confirm this, because it's not going to be broadcast or publicized, but that would make sense. If we are truly, understand, if we are truly spiritual beings first, then there are spiritual powers that come with it that we have no access to, that we have no knowledge about, okay? And that is by design, by those that are in power or in control. That's why they make sure, like I told you, Rudolf Steiner said, we would make sure that we cut off their spiritual abilities, their spiritual power, spiritual intellect. We'll cut them off from knowing anything about the spiritual world.
More than 100 years ago, Rudolf Steiner wrote the following: "In the future, we will eliminate the soul with medicine. Under the pretext of a healthy point of view, there will be a by which the human body will be treated as soon as possible directly at birth, so that the human being cannot develop the thought of the existence of the soul and spirit. Two materialistic doctors will be entrusted the task of removing the soul of humanity. As today, people are against this disease or that disease, so in the future, children will be a substance that can be produced precisely in such a way that people, thanks to this vaccination, will be immune to being subject to the madness of spiritual life. He would be extremely smart, but he would not develop a conscience, and that is the true goal of some materialistic circles. With such a you can easily make the etheric body loose in the physical body. Once the etheric body is detached, the relationship between the universe and the etheric body would become extremely unstable, and man would become an automaton. For the physical body of man must be polished on this earth by spiritual will. So, there is a kind of Ahrimanic force. Man can no longer get rid of a given materialistic feeling. He becomes materialistic of constitution and can no longer rise to the spiritual.
Right? So why do they want to do that? So they've done that to the majority of, probably 99% of us. But what about the 1% that they don't have control of? That they don't. I've heard about jump rooms and stuff. Remember the movie Jumpers? I've heard about that. I've heard about people being able to walk through walls. People being able to peer here and peer there. I've seen video, and you may say these videos may have been altered. It's possible, but there has been videos and things where people just all of a sudden appeared. Start talking about time travel and stuff like that. Telepathic, being able to communicate with somebody in another part of the world. Yeah, this stuff sounds science fiction, sci-fi. And when I tell you, they put it in the movie. You see what I'm saying? And then they dumb you down so you don't think about it. You just go with what they tell you. That's science fiction, that's non-fiction, that's fictional. This is how our world works. So those that do have those powers, man, the ones that I've heard that had those type of abilities, they no longer with us. And I heard some strange things about some of the stuff that they were doing prior to them disappearing and or whatever else. I'm not gonna put a lot of these folks' names and things out there. But like I told you, if we are truly spiritual beings first, then we have to assume that there are some real special powers that they trying to keep us from. And they doing all they can with all this toxins and crap and all the stuff they making you consume and stuff to make sure that you can't reach that high level frequency. You see what I'm saying? That like Max Spears talks about, and I put in front of him that last video where he was saying, well, the oversoul, their higher self, will be able to keep them from walking into these disasters and things. They will have pretty much have spiritual discernment. So that means that some of us are already at a point where we have some higher level of intellect to know better to do some things. Does that mean that we're completely in our spiritual mindset? I can't say that. I can't say that, but I think you're closer than most in that regard. You're closer, okay? Because you were able to avoid the mass wipeouts and things like that, right? But we don't know to what extent the damage has been done to some of us, to whereas, I mean, we have to at least assume, like I said, Rudolf Steiner was talking about, they want to implement things at birth that will cut you off from your the spiritual world, spiritual realm. But also that if it cuts you off from the spiritual world, spiritual realm, it also cuts you off from your spiritual powers, spiritual ability. But we're spiritual beings first. After we leave this body, we'll go into our spiritual form. Okay? So think about it. You have powers and stuff as a physical being. You have strength, you have muscle, you have vision, you can see things, you can see for distances, you can hear, you can smell things. Those are powers from your physical body. Okay? The ability to recognize different things that's going on, like with your two eyes. That's physical 3D realm power. Okay? We talking about spiritual level power from what we are, spiritual level beings first. So if you don't have it though, then you ain't able to do some of the things that you're supposed to be able to do. That's why you were given the pineal gland and everything, and that's why they made sure that they implemented stuff to make sure you didn't reach those powers, right? But there are those of us that have, we don't know them. You see what I'm saying? We don't know them. And to take it a step further, they're positive, more positive beings that are spiritual, that are on another level, and they're just as informed as those that would be in the Illuminati. Okay, illuminated ones but those are the ones, the illuminated, or what you call the Illuminati and stuff. They have an understanding, they know things, and trust you me, they do stuff differently. They don't consume certain things. They know all of the stuff, the tricks of the trade. But the positive beings like us, man, that have spiritual powers and things like that, they are for good. Okay, so they're going to utilize them for good. They're going to use their powers for their own self-preservation and such, just as we would, just as we are. Okay, but we're not going to get any type of special broadcast, like I tell you all the time, that's going to tell us what to do. Oh, you've been mind manipulated. This is what's happening. In order to get yourself back on the right track, you got to do this. You're not going to get that broadcast. It's just not going to happen. They can continue to do what they do, dumbing us down, poisoning, toxins. That's what they plan to do. And it may have very well been all just to get to this one single event where people would not take notice. They would just willingly walk into the death camps like the Jews did. Right? They walk right into the death camps, like unknowingly, not knowing what's going on, like not paying attention to what's going on, like what's going on around you. I believe that's the same kind of approach that's happening in this country right now, in this world right now. And this is why you got so many people that are just completely oblivious. Completely oblivious. Now I will say this though. I'm gonna get ready to let y'all go. I'm noticing a shift though. Like most people are waking up. I see more people that are aware of kind of the BS that's going on than there wasn't. But no, I say I take that back. I see there's more people than there was before. Okay, there's more people than there was before. That doesn't mean that there's more people than that are in the know that are not. And I don't believe that is the case. I believe there's still way more people. I think the percentage of people that are really awake, like really awake, I think we still tinkering around maybe 5% at the best. That's my thoughts. Now, people that are aware that there's some crap going on with taking a walk and stuff, you might be upward toward 50-60% with that part. They noticing something, but you noticing something too late. You have to see people dropping before you say, wait a minute, you know. And that's based off of just the statistics, like so many people are not going to get the turbo, you know. So they like, well, I've heard so many people, like, I know, let me think. 1, 2, 3. Man, I know at least, man, I want to say I know at least 10 people specifically that took the walk that refused to go back and take the turbo. What does that mean? In the big scheme of things, hey, they may have bought themselves a couple more years, maybe. But at the end of the day, all they need to get you was with the walk. Get you walking. They got these people walking. And like I told my guy, we dealing with 3 different aspects. They was talking about dark winter. Dark winter. Think about that. Dark winter. What is that? What is that? What does that entail? Well, you look at it like this. One, you got these different things that are growing in people, right? That takes time to grow. Takes time. They're not going to stop growing. There's nothing to stop them from growing. Now, I have heard, now granted, probably can't say on here, but there is possibly something that can knock that off. It's possible, but I would try it. If I was the person that, if I was one of you guys that took the walk, I would try it. And if you're interested in knowing about that, get in the Telegram. Make sure you make mention about it, and I'll make sure I put it in there. And it's something we may have discussed before, and I might put the video in there. But it's something that has been advocated for by some different doctors and things that very well may get you by. I don't know, but we're just talking about the structures that's growing in people. Okay, those structures, they continue to grow in you, they're gonna have a negative impact. Okay, that's a given. You can't have something in your cardiovascular system growing. Okay, that's how you end up with sudden adult death syndrome, with stuff just growing in your system, and all of a sudden it clogs up an artery, clogs up a valve, right? So that's one aspect. That's continuing to happen, okay? At some point, think about it, man. How many years can you go with that growing? And I told y'all, with athletes and things, man, they running, that blood is pumping. So it's constantly run through a cycle. I believe the faster, the more those things it run through your system, I believe the faster these structures build, right? There's also a correlation with that and pressurized cabins, pressurized depths, whether it be altitude, whether it be underwater. There's something going on there too. And I told y'all, you know how you go in the water and your ears pop and everything, you hold your breath? Something's going on with that. Well, we don't know. Okay, just like when you go on the airplane, you fly up so many thousands, 100,000 feet, all of a sudden you get what? Ears popping, pressure, boom, pressure building inside that cabin, mess with your ears. Also, when you do that, it affects the blood too when you're at a certain altitude. So certain things that happen that expedite these processes, which the information is not going to be released, right? But it's happening, okay? So that's one aspect of it. Right now, they've been talking about accelerated cancers. When I say accelerated, guys, we talking about people coming up, getting checked. I've seen 2 or 3 different instances where people were getting checked for their physical health, did a regular checkup. Doctors said they was fine. All of a sudden, 2-3 weeks later, they wasn't feeling good. Boom, they came back. Boom, they had full-blown stage 4 cancer. Spread throughout the body, and boom, 2 weeks later, they dead. We're not even talking about 2-3 months now with these different diagnoses or prognosis. You see what I'm saying? So that, you talking about that aspect of it. Now, whether turbos is involved in that, I'm pretty sure it is, but I don't know how. Maybe the turbo is what's there you go. We're gonna boost you up. We're gonna turbo. There you go. What you gonna turbo? You gonna speed up what? Cancer? That's what you're gonna do? You gonna turbo that? So you look at that. Okay? That's happening at a fast rate. So that's 2 strikes. 2 strikes. Number 3, talking about the depletion of your ability for your body to fight off infections and stuff. Immune compromised, autoimmune deficiency, right? That's happening at an alarming rate. People keep talking about dark winter. Yeah, dark winter's gonna keep getting dark. That's true. That's a true thing. And it's gonna happen because, yeah, seasons change and people ain't able to fight off infections and as this stuff rises out. Remember what Dr. Sean Brooks said? People are gonna sicken and people will die, right? So if these people are gonna sicken and die because what? Their immune systems are jacked up. Man, I told y'all, I know people, their immune systems are jacked up. I told y'all. There's some people that are autoimmune compromised big time at this point. I'll tell you, I mean, they were so much better prior to walking. So much better, because I know these people. It's like people you interact with directly for a long period of time. You know their normal day to day. You know if they going to the hospital. You know if they laying up in the bed sick. You know if they coughing. Like, man, you ain't never been coughing every time I talk to you. You ain't never been sick 2 times in a month. You see what I'm saying? So that's 3 strikes. You got 3 different variables here that we talking about that you have to fight off all 3. Potentially, you have to fight off all 3. Right? So what's the chances of somebody that takes the walk? What's the chances of them surviving all 3? It's slim. It's slim, guys. It's really, really slim. Really, really slim. Without some type of interaction or some type of intervention. Okay, some type of level of intervention. It ain't good. It ain't good, man. It ain't good. And the rate that a lot of these people been leaving up out of here, it's a lot higher. A lot higher, guys. I'm talking about, I told y'all it's in the millions. I told y'all that. I told y'all. I have not been wrong yet. We in the millions. We in the millions, guys. Somebody has sent me something the other day, talking about when you look up sudden death, if you Google it, like Google say sudden death 2020, or sudden death 2021, then sudden death 2022, even the results of it grows. Like it goes up, like astronomically, which is an indication that there's more information being put in about it. There's more of it happening. You see what I mean? Like I just put a thing in the Telegram yesterday. There was a drag queen. She was out and boom, boom. She 25 years old. So on stage, just died. Something about that, guys, when you're performing and doing stuff, and you got to start putting stuff together. Like I'm not a scientist, but I think I got to understand how the body works. Okay, you do performances. How many you do performance? You get performance anxiety, right? So what does that cause? That causes your heart rate to increase, right? Just like when you swimming and things like that, you going underwater, you up in the air and stuff. Heart rates and things change. Blood pressure changes. You see what I'm saying? When you doing performances and things, I seen people like on the news, they talking and stuff. You did it, guys. We did speeches and stuff in school. You did speeches. You see what I'm saying? And you had the robot voice. Because you was nervous. See, it's messing with your nervous system. Messing with your nervous system, but it also gets your blood pressure pumping. Blood pressure is going at a higher rate. Okay? So that's turning cycles. All of a sudden, boom, these people falling out. Why? Because their blood cannot run through their system at that rate without causing some type of negative effect. Come on, man. If you feel what I'm saying, man, put a thumbs up. If you feel what I'm saying, put a thumbs up. All right? I need y'all to understand where I'm going with this. It's basically the body cannot function the same that it used to. Stuff that you used to could do that would just normally raise your blood pressure, boom, it raises your blood pressure, but it also gets your blood pumping, helps build these structures and things, helps push these clots and things, brain clots and things. Those arteries, those valves are getting clogged. Like the Obama said, we pulling stuff out of people's bodies we ain't never seen before. What the hell is this? We pulling stuff out of people's bodies. But has any of that been on the news? Any of that been on the news? That should be worldwide. Like news flash, news bulletin. The bodies of the are showing signs of some type of growth of some sort that we've never seen before. We don't know what this is. No, you're not getting that. Why? Because we're behind enemy lines. Behind enemy lines. And those that do us harm, they are behind the camera. They in front of the camera. People like me, we in the background. We censored. We on the lowest of the low as far as the algorithm. So this information don't get out there. But you seeing people that are doing performances, and I keep on telling y'all too, that if you seeing people that are right there in the public eye right now, you seeing a few people here drop there. How many people are you not seeing or hearing about? You know, I just had some people hit me on Telegram. It's like they found, it's like 2 or 3 different people that said they found a family member or a friend or something dead at home at a young age. Sudden adult death syndrome. Even some kids they're finding like this. They're finding these people, and these things are not getting reported. And a lot of us getting wrote off as, you know what? You know what? So you look at that, guys, and if it's people dropping right in front of you, and it's accidents, car accidents and things happening, people in their car, and all of a sudden, boom, boom. Well, they rule it. Car accident. Just a regular death from a car accident. Actually, accident. See what I'm saying? So, it's so much, man. There's so much going on, so much happening. And like I told you before, it very well may be the case where everything is continued to be suppressed and hidden to where we won't be able, most of the sheep won't be able to identify with what's going on. Because nothing's going to be publicized. Like if 40, 50 million people done died already, or 40, 50 million people die, as long as they don't report it, it's not known. As long as they say, oh, they just keep putting out stuff about all these different types of cancers, all these different type of ways you can have a heart attack, all these different type of ways you can have some kind of neurological problem. As long as they keep putting it out and telling you what to think, then those that don't know how to think are going to think what they want them to think. So if they see one of their family members, loved ones, or whatever pass away, they're going to say, oh, that's probably because I saw on the news that if you miss your flight, then you could cause you to have a heart attack. So while he was in between flights between Tampa and Houston, he ended up having a heart attack on the layover. That's what happened, because he was waiting on his flight. It got canceled. That's what happened. And people run with it. Or you drunk this certain tea, this caused you to have cancer. People run with it. Oh, my cousin used to drink a lot of tea. Right? So, it's almost like you got to go back and got to look at some of the stuff they were saying. Because remember when the whatchamacall first hit, there was some information that was circulating about people that were smoking and how it affected. I have to go back and look at that, because they've always told us smoking is bad, but it was some information that's floating around that people that you would think that smokers would have a lot. It would be a lot of people that had respiratory problems so it was smoking if they caught the whatchamacallit. But it wasn't happening like that. It was actually the opposite for some reason. And cigarettes is supposed to cause cancer. It's supposed to cause problems. But they tell you that. See, we gotta start looking at stuff from the opposite end. And I'm trying to tell you, stuff they tell you is bad is actually good. Stuff they tell you is good is actually bad. So there may be something to that. Maybe something to that. But that's another story, another investigation that we gotta have. So, for the most part, guys, I think I touched on a couple of different things. This is supposed to be a short video because I just wanted to go over some things, tell you, hey, I put the video out. Reality check, that's on Rumble. The video I just dropped, Stupid Is as Stupid, that's on Rumble, and it's also on YouTube. So make sure you check both them videos out, man. I'm gonna put it up again because it's gotta go through these checks and all that, man, because they be BSing me on that. But make sure you guys in the Telegram. You know the drill. Make sure you're in Telegram, guys. Follow me on the other platforms and everything, because this stuff is getting sensitive even more. And I really believe Rumble is really getting aggressive too, because I've seen a lot of people talking about some of the negative things that they've been doing. So I don't know. Okay, but I appreciate those that have donated and everything, man. That you don't know how much it actually helps the channel, and also helps motivate me at times to do more of this work, because it does become time consuming, putting in a lot of work. I can put in days at times, hours after hours. So it's not necessarily a job, but at times it feels like it. So in retrospects, yes, I do appreciate it when those have donated. Okay, so if you want to donate, I do have the link in the description box for those that would like to do so and help support the channel. Moving forward, guys, I'm gonna probably start trying to do at least one video a week, like I said before, that goes on YouTube. We're gonna try to get, because we gotta reach the masses. That's where you guys at. So other than that, if you don't hear from me, you already know they probably blocked, banned, whatever, and then I might have to sit out for a couple of weeks, or maybe even longer, depending on what kind of strike, what I'm dealing with. So anywho, guys, y'all be safe. I hope everybody has a good weekend, man. Check out the videos that I dropped the last 2 days. Catch y'all in the next video.